What's up, Metal Brethren? Scott Tanic one coming at you again live from the dungeon with yet another album review. And the album and band in question today is the legendary Iron Maiden. And the album, 2015, is The Book of Souls. Now, before I get into talking about this record, really want to just express the amount of respect that I have for this band. They're one of the first bands I really got into headlong, with Metallica being the first. And the first five albums that this band put out with Bruce Dickinson, Number of the Beast, Peace of Mind, Power Slave, Somewhere in Time, and Seventh Son of His Seventh Son, I think are some of the most trademarked albums in this band's career. They're a very progressive band, so they're no stranger to the big, long, extended tracks. Excuse me. That being said, I really want to get into this disc in particular. This disc received a lot of high marks from everybody. Everyone just really anticipated this album and was just salivating, waiting for this one to come out. And I got to be honest, I got this the day it came out, and I'm not impressed. I think they bit off a little bit more than they could chew on this album. This album is, 11 tracks long, running at like 90 minutes. It's got some really long tracks on it, like, there's 11-minute tracks, 13-minute tracks, and 18-minute tracks. And honestly, I think this album in particular is going to be a love or hate kind of thing. People new to Iron Maiden, this is not the disc for you. But the diehards just eat this up, just eat out of their hands with this one, which I can understand, but yet at the same time, I consider myself a diehard metal fan, especially of this band. And this album just really lets me down. It's just too big, too grand. Steve Harris, which is one of the principal songwriters in this band, kind of stepped back on this album because he had a lot of personal issues going on, and it shows in the album. The production on it is great. Guitar work is great. Nico McBain's drumming is some of the best it's ever been. Bruce, he had a bit of a scare going into this album with, he had a tumor on his tongue, and, he went to the doctors, gotten it straight out. Thank God it wasn't cancerous or anything, but a lot of his vocals on this album just seem kind of labored, which is something I'm not used to when it comes to listening to Maiden. I've always seen Bruce as one of the biggest frontmen to kind of be in metal, with, some other underground, but I won't get into all that. But, it just kind of showed Bruce's mortality on this one, and I was just kind of taken back by that whole thing. So, I don't know. This is a very polarizing album. Some people, other channels have just given it like perfect reviews, saying it was like the best thing since sliced bread, and I can't get behind that, to be honest. I just really can't get behind the stellar reviews that a lot of people give this record, and I'm going to get into that right now. Some of the standout tracks on this one are definitely the one that kicks off the album. It's called If Eternity Should Fail. I think that is probably the best song on this album. Another one that's a personal favorite of mine is Tears of a Clown. It's kind of like that little homage to Robin Williams, which we all know what happened with that cat, so don't really need to talk about that. But check out that track off this album. It's, it kind of hits you in the boo-boos. That one is kind of give you a little bit of a tearjerker kind of thing going on. One that a lot of reviewers kind of tore down, but I kind of like, is The Red and the Black. But I will give the other reviewers this. Bruce's vocals sound really labored on this track in particular. And, it's just, I like the whole lyrical theme he's going on in this track. But then again, the rest of the album just kind of slows. It's just the pacing on this album is just kind of not my cup of tea. I'm going to get into one that is like everyone loves this track, and I just I can't get into it, and it's called Empire of the Clouds. It's about some big airship disaster that took place. I don't remember when, but I mean, I get that Bruce Dickinson's into, aviation. He's a pilot and all that stuff, but man, an 18-minute song about an airship disaster to me is just a little bit of overkill. Um, Listening to this one, and I'm going to be fair and say I have spun this record 4 or 5 times, and I just every time it gets to the end of this record, I'm just like, Empire of the Clouds. I mean, it's a good song. If the diehards will love it, but me personally, I just think this song is just it just drags on for too long. Like the riff that's going on in this song is just I got bored with it 10 minutes in. And I'm like, oh damn, there's 8 more minutes of this thing. Um, I'm pretty I'm pretty sure that a lot of people's gonna just hate that I do not like this album. They're gonna call me a poser, or the the comments are just gonna be flooded with hate mail. But you know what? I gotta be honest. I mean, this is not the best thing that's come out this year by far. I mean, I think there's albums that really outshine this one. Don't get me wrong. Do I think Maiden should hang it up? Definitely not. I think this album is going to be a good stepping stone for things to come. I really hope Steve Harris gets over some of the stuff that kind of held him back on this record, because I really missed his songwriting ability on this record. If he would have had a little bit more involvement, I think this would have been the masterpiece that everyone gave it. So I'm going to go ahead and just rate this bitch for you right now. I'm going to give you 3.5 out of 5, and that's really me being generous, because I do have tons of respect for this band. But you may disagree with me. Go ahead and hit me up in the comments. Subscribe if you want to. And, if this is the last video you check out from my channel, hey, so be it. Didn't need you anyway. Just kidding. But keep it true, metal brethren. Scott Tannic 1 here, signing off. Peace.